Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and today we are going to talk about how I epically failed at my reading challenge for this year for middle grade March. Are we surprised a month before my wedding? No. But that being said, I did actually read a good amount of books this month. Okay, let's start with the two that weren't middle grade this month. I'm telling you guys, I really didn't do it with the reading this month. I don't even know what the excuse is other than it's literally a month before my wedding, and this month I don't know what happened. March was crazy. But let's talk about Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This is my first V.E. Schwab read, and I actually enjoyed this. I know this one isn't like her most highly rated of her books, but I wanted to like dip my toe in the V.E. Schwab world before I read. What's the one that she's really known for? Vicious, I think, which is the superhero one, and I know that one has a new release coming out this year that I'm really excited for, so I wanted to read some of her stuff. I loved her writing. The story I wasn't the biggest fan of. I did enjoy it, not as much as I was hoping to, but that being said, I still really liked it. This is essentially about a girl named Olivia Pryor who has been raised in an orphanage and then receives a letter from a mysterious uncle telling her to come to Gallant, which is a house that her family grew up in. There is a lot of mystery, there is a lot of family secrets within this, and I actually really enjoyed this. It kind of gave me like Secret Garden-esque mixed with like a horror film. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed it more than I actually thought that I would. That being said, it wasn't my favorite book of all time. I think I ended up giving this one like 3.5 stars, but I am really interested now to read more for V.E. Schwab, so mission accomplished with that. Next, I read Atmosphere for my monthly book club pick. This was actually my month to host, so we all came over to my house. For those of you guys that don't know, I do a monthly book club with a group of friends, and we pick a book each month and then rotate through who hosts and picks the books. This one was my latest Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I love reading anything by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I will say this was probably my least favorite of hers that I've read recently. I just feel like her subsequential books that she's come out with, I think really since Daisy Jones and the Six, just have been good but haven't been like incredible to me. This one essentially follows a woman named Joan who is in the space training NASA program in the 1970s, I believe. No, 1980s. Late 70s, early 80s. And kind of the relationship she builds, the atmosphere of those in training. It was really interesting. I really wish there's two parts of like the past, which it jumps back to, and then the present day, which there is a situation going on present day with a mission. I really wish certain things would have been ordered differently in the series or within the book with this, just because things would happen in the present that we hadn't really established in the past, and so I didn't really care when it happened in the present like I maybe would have if it had come later in the book. Without giving too many spoilers, that was kind of the only gripe that I had with this. The relationship was good. It did feel reminiscent. I think that's not a spoiler with this, but there is a romantic woman relationship within this. It just felt reminiscent of some of her other stories. So again, I liked it, but it just felt very familiar, which I would have kind of hoped for something a little different. I'd say the main aspect of this that I did end up enjoying was her relationship with her sister, which was very dynamic and very troubled, and her niece, that was a really cute dynamic that I really loved of this. So overall, I really liked it. I think I ended up giving this 4 stars. But yeah, overall, not my favorite, but a good read nonetheless. Okay, now let's talk about the 4 books that I ended up getting to for middle grade March. I didn't really love all of them, but we'll talk about it. We'll start with Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book. I don't think I realized until after I started this, or finished it rather, the drama going on with Neil Gaiman. So unfortunately, because of that, I'm a little sad that I ended up reading this. I'm glad for the context that I've read a Neil Gaiman book. That being said, for those of you that don't know, he has been accused of a few unsavory things, so I will not be continuing on and reading other books of his. But this one that I read was interesting. It's basically about a boy named Nobody that gets raised in a graveyard and makes friends and has different situations that happen. Like each chapter is kind of a story within itself, which I thought was kind of fun to read. I thought that was really unique. I loved that aspect of it. Nobody is a really cute character, and just again, the dynamics he kind of gets himself into and the antics he gets up to was really cute. I did like this one. I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. I always forget if I've read Coraline or not, so I've obviously seen the movie, but this one, like I said, was a good read. I enjoyed the aspect of the time that I read it. I read it pretty quickly on a trip that I took this last month, but like I said, just because of the stuff going on with him, I probably won't be reading any more Neil Gaiman, but for the one that I did read, I enjoyed it. Next, let's talk about one that I'm having mixed feelings about. This is The List by Patricia Ford. This essentially is about a girl who is the wordsmith in this land where the city of Ark is the last safe place on earth, and Letta is what's called a wordsmith, where she basically gives people a list of words that they are allowed to say, and everything else in this society has been banned. This I really have mixed feelings about. There is a sequel to this that I think I'm going to actually pick up, but while I was reading this, there were certain aspects of this book that I did not enjoy. Again, I'm not the target audience for this. This is for middle grade readers, obviously, but while I was reading it, it felt like The Giver, but a lot less fleshed out. Like maybe there'll be things that are answered in the second book with this, but just a lot of aspects of this felt like something I'd read from before. Nothing with this really felt that original. A lot of things with this were a little bit predictable. Again, it is for a younger audience, so maybe for me as a 33-year-old woman, it's a little easier to predict. But yeah, I don't know. There's nothing that I can distinctly say was like what I didn't like about it. A lot of it for me just was a little underdeveloped, maybe is a way to say it. But overall, like I said, that being said, even though I wasn't like the biggest fan of it, I think I did give this one 3 stars. I still want to maybe continue on in the series. I don't know, I'm debating. But yeah, overall with this one, I love this kind of dystopian type of world. It's reminiscent for me of lots of books I read when I was younger, so I'm glad I picked it up, and I think I'll continue on in the series. We'll see. Okay, next, let's talk about a classic that I was loved to reread. It didn't hold up in quite the same way that I was hoping it would, but I still enjoyed my time reading it, and that was The Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. White. I grew up loving E.B. White's books. I loved especially Charlotte's Web. It was one of my favorite books as a kid, so to revisit The Trumpet of the Swan was a great time. His writing is so fun. It really brings animals to life in a way that I really enjoy. And yeah, again, it's a very straightforward story about a swan named Lewis who basically uses a trumpet. He's born mute essentially, and uses a chalkboard and a trumpet to essentially like get himself into these crazy situations throughout the story. I thought it was really cute. Again, I loved revisiting this world. I love E.B. White's books in general. They're very reminiscent of my childhood, so for a nostalgic read, this one was a great time and I loved it a lot. It was a good time. I still think Charlotte Web is my favorite of his, but it's still a great time. Okay, and what I think might actually be my favorite book that I read this month is The Menagerie by Tuti Sutherland and Kari Sutherland. This was such a good time. I think I've told you guys in several videos, I'm really on my like zoo, like magical creature realm era right now. I'm really loving all the books I'm picking up in that kind of vein. So if you guys have any recommendations for any zoo or mythical creature zoo books, please let me know down in the comments below. I'm really enjoying them. But yeah, this one essentially follows a boy named Logan, who essentially ends up getting himself mixed up in the world of the menagerie, which is a secret essentially zoo that his friend, this girl Zoe Khan's family, is responsible for taking care of. And he kind of gets mixed up in this situation because he finds a griffin cub in his bedroom, and it leads to a whole situation. I really love the characters of this. I love the family dynamic. I just really enjoyed my time reading this. Yeah, I think this for me really falls in the vein of just magical zookeepers and that world of someone coming into that world. It felt very similarly reminiscent of my favorite book from last year, which was The Phoenix Keeper. I just had a great time with this, and I'm actually really excited to continue on in the series. So again, this one unfortunately is middle grade, but I had a great time, which is why, again, I love always doing middle grade March every year, because I find gems like this, which make me so happy. So yeah, other than that, that is all of the books that I read for this month in March. I didn't even come close to reading my 50 that I was hoping to, but again, it's a month before my wedding, so let's cut the girls some slack, okay? But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite book was from the month of March. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!